I got this kit, this set from AliExpress. Basically, it's just a nice little box for the 18650 cells, and I mean, it seems pretty good. It seals pretty good and everything, and it comes with the case. It comes with the nickel strips that you need to put it together, and it comes with these black holders so you can just put your cells in. So you have to have your own cells, and you want to make sure all the cells are matched that are in each of the 3 sets. So this is for 3 series 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parallel. So I'm using these 3400 cells that are used and probably give me about 3000. So 3 times 7 is 21. So basically it's a 21-ish amp hour 12 volt battery is what it ends up being. And so you can get these for like $5 from China, the setup, and then, you know, I usually spend about $1 a cell through battery hookups. So you just have to kind of watch for when they have good cells available. And so, you know, there's 21 cells in here. So obviously that's another $21 plus the 5 plus, you know, maybe a little wire or something. So, you know, $30, under $30, you can get a 20 amp hour 12 volt battery that you can use for all kinds of things. It does come with this balancing board, so I haven't really used it a whole lot, so I will see how good it is. But you know, for $5, I thought I'd give it a try. Kind of like the holder and everything, the way it goes together and goes in the box. So it's fairly straightforward. When you put the cells in, you put them in line like this, and so all the negatives right here go to this first port, which has a 0V on it. So that's the negative. So you'll have one strip come up here and touch that, and so that's the very last or first of the cells, and that means that these two all need to be put together. So you put these together and you have it come over the end and go here, which is 4.2 volts. So basically that's measuring 0 to 4.2. So this is your first string. This whole line here is the first string, and it's connected on the top here to the second string, and then that's second string. These are all connected on the back, so that you have this coming over, and that gives you the 8.4 volts. That gives you the second string that attaches there, and then this is the last string. So you have the one single here going to the 12.6, so this is the very end. So it's fairly straightforward when you do a 3S configuration. And like I said, it comes with the nickel strips, so depending upon how high a current you want to pull from it, you may want to upgrade to thicker nickel strips to get more current through it. But it does come with it, and it feels pretty thin. My guess is this is 0.1, it could be 0.15, but it's not the greatest. So like I said, so you know, you want to make sure you do it right and put this in the right way. And since this is the 0 volt here, you know, this whole negative, see, these are all the negatives, need to be attached like this, and then the end comes over and gets attached to that board. So that's what you want to do. And then, you know, those two get together, and then on the other side. So then you just take your spot welder and you go right down the line. Like I said, it will get bent over and connect to the 0 right here. And then all of these, you need all of these to be connected. So you take the next set that connects the whole next bank, And it's pretty cool the way it just notches in here. It just, so I mean there's a big advantage to using theirs, of course, is that it gets it's pretty easy to make sure you get it in the right spot. So now you've got negatives to here, positive here going to the 8.4, jumping over to the negatives, and now those go to the positives on this side. So this side all gets connected. That's gonna jump her over to the 8.4, and then the last one is all of these positives going to the 12.6. So that's the last connection right there. So once you're done with the spot welding, then you connect those 4 points. The 4 points that I talked about, you might be able to spot weld them. I chose to solder them just because I'm not sure how that board is going to handle spot welding. And I always like to Dremel just a little bit to scuff up the surface, and then I add solder, and then I just push the tabs over and hold them in place with anything. I use the razor blade, hold them in place and get enough solder on there. You have a good connection, and then you just need to add the positive and negative lines there that are going to attach to the top of the board. I chose to go ahead and do balancing port because I want to make sure that the cells are balanced. I'm not trusting the BMS board, so I'll use my meter to be able to really make sure that the cells stay balanced. So once I added the balancing plug, then I mean, that's pretty straightforward. You add it to each of the 4 points, so it's pretty easy that you have these 4 points. And then once you've added that, you can put it in the case, and then you just connect the other end of those lines to the top of the case. And I did add a little bit of tape just to protect it, and you're done.